Hello, welcome to Dungeoneers Pack, a channel bringing you player-focused discussions and character guides for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. My name is Josh, thank you for watching. Unearthed Arcana Subclasses Part 5 introduces 2 dragon-powered subclasses for the Monk and Ranger. For the Ranger, we get to test out the Drakewarden, which looks to improve on the Beastmaster subclass and add a Draconic spin to it. In this video, I'm going to go over the mechanics of the Drakewarden Ranger, my opinion on it, and how you can fit the subclass into the various official 5th edition settings. Before we get started, an easy way to support this channel is to like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell to know when new videos are up. You can also support us directly at our Patreon by becoming a Dungeoneer. When you become a Dungeoneer, you get access to an exclusive role in a private chat in Discord, access to all the character build scripts, and you will be able to listen to an audio-only version of each week's video before it goes up. You can find a link to the Patreon in the description below. With that said, let's get started. The Drakewarden subclass starts off with 2 features, with the first being Draconic Gift, which in all honesty is pretty straightforward. It allows us to speak, read, and write Draconic if we are not already able to, and we also gain the ability to cast a Thaumaturgy cantrip. There really isn't too much to say about this feature. We can speak to our pet that we gain in our next feature, and we are capable of casting a cantrip. Thaumaturgy is similar to other cantrips like Minor Illusion and Prestidigitation, as they require some creativity to really get the most use out of them. The main feature we receive at 3rd level is the entire reason anyone would choose this subclass. It is the Drake Companion. As an action, we could summon our very own Drake in an unoccupied space within 30 feet of us. When we summon our Drake, we get to choose a Draconic Essence, a damage type associated with the various dragons in D&D. The damage types we can choose from are Acid, Cold, Fire, Lightning, or Poison. Depending on which we choose, our Drake gains immunity to the damage type, and its Bite Attack and Infused Strikes reaction ability deal the chosen damage type. Like with most pets now in the game, it shares our initiative but acts right after us. It can move and use its reaction on its own, and we must use our bonus action to give it a command. And if we don't, the Drake will default to taking the dodge action. We can summon the Drake once per long rest, or if we spend a spell slot at 1st level or higher. The Drake sticks around for a number of hours equal to our proficiency bonus, or until its hit points drop to 0. Now let's take a look at the Drake's stats. Its size is small, which means it could be as small as a wizard's familiar or as big as a halfling. The Drake's armor class, saving throws, and its ability to hit with an attack are boosted by our proficiency bonus. Its hit points have a base formula of 5 plus 5 times our ranger level. This gives a bigger incentive to not multi-class or at least not invest heavily into another class. It has the standard 60-foot dark vision, and it only speaks and understands Draconic. The Drake's base attack is Bite, which does 1d6 piercing damage, plus the damage type of our chosen Draconic Essence, which is equal to our proficiency bonus. And its last ability is a reaction called Infused Strikes, that we can use whenever another creature within 30 feet of the Drake that it can see hits with a weapon attack. They can have that attack deal an extra 1d6 damage of the chosen Draconic Essence. The Drake is a very strong offensive companion. Infused Strikes helps us rack up damage as a ranger, and if we are too far away from our pet, this provides a damage boost to any of our party members. The Drake has built-in scaling unlike the Beastmaster Ranger companions. The Beastmaster Ranger companions have their scaling built into the subclass's kit. They both accomplish the same goal, but in my opinion, the Drake's scaling is easier to keep track of as the scaling is written on the Drake's stat block. The only issue I have with this pet is that it's only around for a limited time. Our Drake will only be around for the times we need it, which will mostly be for combat. This could potentially lead to situations where our first turn in combat is all about setting up. It takes an action to summon the pet, and if we need to set up Hunter's Mark, our bonus action is then tied up setting up another ability, which then forces our Drake to take the dodge action instead of attacking. Also, the limited time the pet can be summoned gives me the feeling that it's less of a companion and more of a tool. My assumption is the limited time with our Drake is a design choice to reinforce the summoning mechanics. Each time we bring out our Drake, we can change their Draconic Essence to suit the situation we need, and in later levels, we get additional choices to make when we summon them. At level 7, we begin to see the benefits of our bond with our Drake with the Bond of Fang and Scale feature. Whenever we summon our Drake, we gain resistance to the chosen damage type we picked with Draconic Essence. Our Drake also begins to evolve a bit as we can now choose between giving it a swimming speed of 40 feet and it being able to breathe in the air and water, or choose to give it a flight speed of 40 feet as wings grow out of its back. In addition to all this, the Drake's Bite attack does more damage as we add an additional 1d6 of the chosen damage type for our Draconic Essence. Just as I mentioned in regards to the summoning mechanics for our Drake, Bond of Fang and Scale allows us to grant a swim or flight speed each time we summon our companion. It's a given that most of the time we will be taking the flight form, but for those times we go nautical, our pet won't be useless. In addition, the Drake's Bite damage gets boosted, coming out to a total of 2d6 plus our proficiency bonus. The piercing damage of the Bite attack doesn't become magical, so this buff helps out. When we hit level 11 in this subclass, we and our Drake gain access to a spell-like attack with the Drake's Breath feature. As an action, we choose one of our Draconic damage types, and we or our Drake release a breath weapon in a 30-foot cone. Creatures caught in that cone must make a dexterity saving throw, and if they fail, they take a total of 6d6 damage. If they pass a save, they take half as much. The damage increases to 8d6 at 15th level, and we can use this ability again after taking a long rest, or if we spend a spell slot of 3rd level or higher. The damage is not tied to whichever Draconic essence we choose for a Drake. Instead, we choose the damage type whenever we make this attack. The damage from Drake's Breath is equivalent to casting Burning Hands at 4th level, and when we hit level 15, it can deal the same damage as a Fireball casted at 3rd level. While the Breath weapon is super flavorful, the damage output at this level we receive this feat at is not comparable to damage spells spellcasters can cast at similar levels. And the kicker for me is that in order to even use this attack, it takes up our action. In comparison, the Ranger with its multi-attack action, bonuses, abilities, and the Drake's bonus attack can potentially do more damage, but only to a single target. The last feature comes in at level 15, and it has our Drake evolve into its full dragon form. The Perfected Bond feature has our Drake size changed from small to large. Its bite attack does an additional 1d6 damage of the chosen damage type, bringing the total damage to 3d6 plus our proficiency bonus. And if we or our Drake are within 30 feet of each other and take damage, we can use our reaction to give either of us resistance to that instance of damage. When we hit the endgame tier of play, we become a full-fledged Dragon Rider as our Drake increases its size to large. What stood out to me about this feature is that even at this high level, the Drake's attack isn't considered magical, so for some enemies, especially at the highest tier of play, 1d6 will be negated a lot of the time. Perfect Bond's defensive ability is not something that should be overlooked. The source of damage we can gain resistance against does not have to stem from an attack. We or our pet gain resistance to any source of damage which extends to spells, traps, or any other mechanic or ability that could potentially take us out of the encounter. Before giving my final opinion on the subclass, let's take a look at how it fits into the official 5th edition settings. For traditional fantasy settings, this character could be a follower of Bahamut, tasked with protecting this dragon as it's prophesied to usher in an age of peace. Or do the reverse. This character could be a Cult of the Dragon member, tasked with guarding the dragon in order to ignite an age of chaos. In Eberron, the subclass can be used for a member of House Vidalis that's raising a mage-bred pseudo-dragon or drake. Or they could be a Talenta halfling, raising their unusual dinosaur companion. In Ravnica, the subclass could be used to play a member of the Simic Guild that has a bond with their experimental Krasis. Or, this subclass could be used to play a Boros Legionnaire, raising their special wyvern. And in Theros, this subclass could be used to play a champion of Perforos who is gifted a spawn of the dragon, Thraxus. The Drakewarden Ranger is a variation of the Beastmaster subclass that looks to improve on the original execution while adding in a dragon theme. When comparing this subclass to the Beastmaster in the player's handbook alone, this is a vast improvement. Even with the additional companions being introduced in Tasha's, the Drake pet still comes out on top as it provides flexible options whenever we summon it, and as we continue to level, the Drake's attacks become more powerful. My only issue is that our pet is on a time limit. The limit is good enough for standard dungeon runs or have them around for most of our important encounters or scenarios, but to me, it doesn't feel like our companion will be around with the party. Instead, it feels like a tool that comes out whenever you need it to fight. With that said, I want to hear from you. What do you think of the Drakewarden Ranger? If you want to see more content like this, let me know down in the comment section. You can also catch me at the Dungeoneers Pack Discord. A link to the Discord can be found in the description below. Alright, I'm out of here. Have a good one.